Hey everybody, we're back again with another playtest video. This week I'm going to be playing with Blue, White, Red Flash a la Matt Costa and Jerry Thompson. And here's the deck to start out with. Now it's a pretty traditional Blue, White, Red control. We're going back to the standard Snapcaster and Restoration Angel. This list has foregone Augur Bolas in favor of Boros Reckoners to help with the aggressive matchups. We're also going to be playing 4 Azurius Charms, really good in the aggro matchups, also good in the control matchups since we can cycle them early or late or early use them to return a creature attacking or blocking on top of the owner's library, normally attacking us. We have Think Twice, just a pure card advantage and card selection. Then we have 2 Essence Scatters, a card that's been picking back up in popularity since the drop-off on Cavern of Souls. Without a lot of Cavern of Souls, this is an excellent counterspell and helps us set up our game very well. Then we have the standard 2 Dissipates. For our removal suite, we have 2 Supreme Verdicts for our mass removal. Then we're playing 3 Pillar of Flames, really important in the format right now to fight off the Aristocrats deck. Any hand with a Pillar and a Snapcaster is going to be really good against those type of decks. We have Turn and Burn, which is excellent in those creature matchups also. Good against Angel of Serenity, Thragtusk. Voice of Resurgence also, just making sure they don't get those tokens when it leaves play is important. That's why we're playing Pillars. And then Whirly Helix, a little bit of a hedge against the aggro matchup since gaining 4 life can be really, really important. We don't want to play too many 4s though, so we're only playing 1. Since we have a bunch of 1-for-1s in our deck, Sphinx's Revelation is how we're mainly closing out the game. Sphinxes for 4 or 5 will normally close out any game that you're playing, since we're trading early with our Turn and Burns and Pillar of Flames and Azurius Charms. And then our actual win conditions are 3 Restoration Angels, the 4 Boros Reckoners, 3 Snapcasters for value, and 1 of Thundermaw Hellkite. Good in this format, lots of Lingering Souls going around, and just a solid finisher. In this deck, since we are pretty much a dedicated control deck, we have 26 lands. You could probably play 25, but I really don't want to go less than 26 with only 7 cyclers early. Plus we have 3 colors, so we're going to have to hit a lot of land drops. Boros Reckoners, Pillar of Flames. We want to be casting all these cards early. So we have 1 Cavern of Souls and 1 Moorland Haunt as our utility lands. The Moorland Haunt, since we are kind of a slow, grindy deck and we're trading our creatures off a lot just to stay alive till we Sphinx's Revelations, this card will help us close out the game. Cavern of Souls, good in the mirror matchup. Not really too much else. Like normally we're naming our Angel with it to just resolve our Restoration Angels because they're pretty much our most important card. Then we're playing a bunch of the duels, which is pretty standard here. 3 Sacred Foundries, 4 Steam Vents, 4 Hollowed Fountains. So 11 shocks, meaning most of our lands are going to come into play tapped early unless we're playing a very aggressive matchup. So we're going to be starting the game at a generally 18 to 16 life. And then we have 11 buddy lands. So if we play one of these going to play tapped, we can easily play one of these followed up. And 2 basic islands, since we do have a few double blue spells in our deck and not many other double colored spells other than the Supreme Verdicts and the Boros Reckoners. I think it's fine to play these as our 2 basic lands. And that's pretty much it for the main deck. Now let's go to the sideboard. Okay, and for our sideboard here, we have 2 Rest in Peace, really good against the Junk Reanimator deck. Also very good against the Junk Aristocrats deck, since they have a ton of things that trigger when it leaves the graveyard, or when they leave play to the graveyard. It stops Blood Artist, it stops all the Undying creatures, Voice of Resurgence, it stops Doom Traveler. It's a very good card right now. It kind of doesn't play well with our Snapcasters, so we're going to be boarding out our Snapcasters when we bring this in, but it is a very powerful card in the format right now. Then we have 2 Izzet Staticasters, good against any of the token decks, aggro decks. Naya Human specifically has a very hard time killing this card, and it kills most of their threats. So this is pretty important. Then we have 2 more Thundermaw Hellkites in our sideboard for any of the Lingering Souls, mainly token decks. They have been popping up with the favorable winds and intangible virtue. It's just a solid card. Sometimes you want more threats and less answers, so you board those in when that happens. We have 1 Dispel and 1 Negate. Both of those are for the control matchup, so when we want to board in a few more counter spells. Then we have 1 Pillar, the 4th Pillar, which we're bringing in against any of the aggro matchups, Voice of Resurgence decks, Naya aggro, Naya humans, Junk Aristocrats, regular Aristocrats. Just this card's really solid right now. Warlord Helix, another hedge against aggro decks. Boarding it in when we're going to be behind a lot. So Naya humans again, and probably Naya aggro where they're playing more 4 toughness creatures like Restoration Angel and Gore Clan Rampager. Then we have 1 clone, good against the Junk Reanimator decks. We also probably would board this in against Bant Hexproof since they're playing for Geist to St. Traffs. And then the biggest card in the sideboard for me is Renounce the Guilds. This card is really powerful and really, really good in the format right now, killing a lot of the problem cards that your deck has, or you have problems dealing with anyways, such as Obsidat and Folkarath Aristocrat. It kills Varal's, Cartel Aristocrat, just Voice of Resurgence, tons and tons of permanents this thing kills. It's really good against Junk Reanimator, or Junk Aristocrats, since they have so many multicolored permanents, Cartel Aristocrat, Varal's, and Sorin. It also kills Damirad, Burning Tree Emissary. It's just a very powerful card right now. This is something that I think after the rotation is going to be really, really good and something everybody should be playing. But that's it for our sideboard, and let's have a fun match against BBD.